Hello again, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to the LeverX webinar series, a free educational service offered to SAP customers to inform and demonstrate SAP functionality and industry best practices to improve your business performance. Our webinar today is entitled SAP Idea to Performance, Enabling Sustainable Innovation. In this webinar, jointly sponsored by SAP and LeverX, you will get an introduction to the concept of idea to performance and an explanation of how it can truly enable sustainable innovation. My name is Ralph Davis, Marketing Manager at LeverX, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. Before we begin our topic, let me briefly introduce you to LeverX. LeverX helps companies increase business value by leveraging existing investments in SAP solutions.
This is Graham, and good morning to everybody else on the call. Ralph, tell me, can you see my screen? Yes.
You're good. You're good to go. Thanks, Graham.
Okay, so fantastic. Okay, so once again, my name is Graham Conlon, and I head up SAP's Product Lifecycle Management business globally. And what I wanted to try and cover today, as Ralph just mentioned, is idea to performance, and then moving into a little bit more detail to talk about some of the issues around how we want to drive sustainable innovation. So let me kick off by saying a few words about idea to performance, and really what I want to try and do is to give you a heads up on really some of the issues and some of the thinking that's been in the mind of SAP as we've been arriving at this strategy to move our business and hopefully your businesses forward. So we see a number of issues which are driving our thinking, and this slide I think is a busy slide, but it captures many of them and really highlights some of the changes that we see in the environment that are really causing significant challenges for manufacturing organizations today. So first topic I would mention is the whole issue around the environment and some of the strains that that's putting on energy, but also in terms of expectations from consumers and customer organizations. I think the population and significant demographic changes we also see, and the statistic that's shown on this particular slide with 1.8 billion entering the consumer classes, again, depending on the industry you're operating in, is having significant impacts in terms of the expectation of the consumer and also the expectation in terms of what they expect from a product and the amount of change that they expect from a product. I think technology has moved forward as well as the market, and the third area I highlight on here is the connected planet, and really what we're seeing in the marketplace is a huge explosion in terms of the amount of data that can be created, and also the expectation of using that data, managing that data, and really driving new business models with that data. And that drives me to the last point that we make on here in terms of business models really shifting away from the pure make a product, sell a product, to really looking at some innovative ways of actually servicing products as well. So these are key aspects that we see in the market, and one of the words that I used here, which is really kind of probably the most prominent, certainly in my mind, is the whole issue around complexity, because I think this is a backdrop to everything that was on the previous slide. And there's a quote here from Henry Ford, which everybody's heard of, but really just thinking about how things have moved on, not just in the automotive industry, but some of the implications in terms of the amount of choice and the amount of complexity that now exists. And that complexity in terms of the opportunity, in terms of managing product structures, whether it be within your classical automotive or discrete industries, but also increasingly in consumer goods and process industries. So huge amount of choice in terms of product, and therefore huge amount of complexity in terms of the processes and data structures that are required to manage that. There's a topic which comes up in Europe, and particularly in Germany, home of SAP, quite a lot, and this is the topic around Industry 4.0. And I'm not sure how many of you have come across the topic, but I wanted to just highlight a couple of points, because I think whilst this is a European-centric initiative, it really does highlight the need for change across global manufacturing organizations as well. So the first thing is, the reason behind the 4.0 is that we talk in Europe about the fourth industrial revolution, moving stages that we've been in the part of the physical system. So this Industry 4.0, this European initiative, really is about the fourth industrial revolution, and I think some of the terms that come out and some of the areas that we're currently exploring are really important, because, as I said, I don't think they are peculiar to Germany or Europe. They are challenges and opportunities for any organization operating and manufacturing globally. So just some of them that I want to tease out, and again, just because these are the ideas that have been in our mind as we've formulated our strategy for idea to performance. Machine to machine is already relevant, but becoming increasingly so, and I think the whole area around how we manage the data from machine-to-machine connectivity will be a significant challenge for us as we move forward. Social knowledge systems are expected from consumers today, and increasingly they are becoming sought after in the business environment. And the whole area around how do we manage mobility and how do we use the cloud to really free up and introduce flexibility and transparency into business processes.